stalking them as a gang because for whatever reason they might be trying to blackmail them, humiliate them, hurt them, harm them. This could be a reality. I wouldn't put anything past people, but in the line of work that I'm in, often whenever I talk to people that are usually coming off of meth psychosis or methamphetamine, the term gang stalking comes up a lot. Hello, my name is PEJ. I'm an interventionist that works with people that have drug addiction, alcoholism, and mental health, and trying to help them better their lives. Today's topic, we are going to talk about gang stalking. I was asked the other day, I had a friend that was in psychosis. He was talking about gang stalking and describing to me what goes on with him, and he's really convinced that it's happening. And then another friend that told me that you should make a video about being gang stalked, right? And then, I love to go down rabbit holes and look at people's experiences with gang stalking. So what is gang stalking? Obviously, it's a gang of possible people who come together and they stalk somebody. This is what it's been interpreted as. This is something that has been talked about extensively. Often people think that people with mental health only experience this, or people think that people that have maybe drug-induced psychosis experience gang stalking. Look, this is a very big world. There's a lot of different activities. The different breeds of humanity might encounter it. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that do gang stalking and spy on people as a group, collectively, but a lot of times when I hear somebody who is coming off of meth, or somebody that's experienced a lot of meth-induced psychosis or even cannabis-induced psychosis, they will often bring up the term gang stalking. Now, I'm not saying it's particular just to those types or those people that use that stuff, but this is something that I've quite often heard about. So if I was to do different videos, obviously about gang stalkers, as opposed to being gang stalked, or even gang stalking only happening in the lives of people that have an issue with substance abuse, but sometimes don't even know they have an issue with it. I thought I would just bring it all together rather than do separate videos and talking about it. Being gang stalked, as a person who is a victim or falls victim to being gang stalked, it's got to be hard on the soul. It's got to be hard on their minds, because they feel like there are people out to get them. Sometimes they are absolutely convinced upon it. They will talk about it, sometimes in excess, but when they feel like they're not being believed, then they just keep it to themselves and they go on to being gang stalked. Also, there are people that say once they've been gang stalked, they actually go after the gang stalkers to either call them out or to attack back, because they feel like their privacy is being attacked, so they want to attack back, however they may be. Now, if they are truly being gang stalked, it's one thing to go after somebody, but imagine if sometimes it's just their imagination and they are feeling like they're being watched and they're feeling like they're being gang stalked, and they're not exactly sure who it is or who it could be, or they might feel like they have little hints, little bits and pieces of who it might be. They could potentially go to who it might be, and if that person's not indeed gang stalking them, then they go after them to whether verbally attack them or even call them out or whatever they want to do. They could find that they get highly embarrassed, or at least they get found out to not being in the right mind, and why are they falsely accusing somebody of gang stalking them. As far as people that come together to do such an act, maybe perhaps it could be anything from cyberbullying or even in-person bullying. A group of people might actually be after someone and stalking them as a gang because for whatever reason they might be trying to blackmail them, humiliate them, hurt them, harm them. This could be a reality. I wouldn't put anything past people, but in the line of work that I'm in, often whenever I talk to people that are usually coming off of meth psychosis or methamphetamine, the term gang stalking comes up a lot. So I was reading about it earlier. Somebody posed a question on Quora, which is a place online where you can go and ask a lot of different questions. And they said, why is it that it seems that most people that I've seen have talk about gang stalking have mental health issues or substance abuse issues? And a lot of people came back to that person and said, why would you just just be specific to that population. How dare you? There's other people that answered to that person. They said, you don't understand real gang stalking. It's happened to us. And this person, you know, whenever you pose such a question, you're basically going against people and just discounting what they might be experiencing. Now, sometimes what I've noticed is that people who actually do have substance abuse addiction, especially when it comes to methamphetamine, if they've been in a mindset of feeling like they've been gang stalked, once they do clean up their life and get sober and go into a different direction, everybody has their own experience. There are some people who actually come to the conclusion that they realized they were in full-blown psychosis and they couldn't differentiate the real from the false. They had been convincing themselves that everything was a certain way because it just was. And it could have been through sleep deprivation, through lack of nourishment, being malnourished, dehydration, lots and lots of hours of just thinking and formulating these different ideas within their minds, being absolutely convinced that they're not paranoid and that people need to understand them and they need to be those people that are gang stalking them, somebody needs to go after them. A lot of times when I hear people feel like they were gang stalked, they do not think that law enforcement should go after them. They feel like they want to go get those people themselves, right, in some way. That's my experience and who I've seen. And perhaps sometimes when somebody is in a paranoid state or they have a lot of secrets that they're holding and then they're using substances which then put them in this mindset that they're feeling like they're being hacked or watched or gang stalked, then the last thing they want to do is get law enforcement involved, because then, you know, who knows, they might find out the reality and then start being observed by law enforcement too. So I know that a lot of times the theory of gang stalking happening to somebody where it's not really happening is a deep, deep psychological happening for the individual. There's perhaps a secretive lifestyle that they live, and so they've got to actually get the help that they need to get off of it so that they can face the reality. Then there are people who have experienced drug-induced psychosis. They feel like they have been hacked. They feel like they have been gang stalked, all of these different things. And they get sober, and over a period of time, even if they've been sober for a long period of time, if they're not stabilized, if they're prescribed medications and they're not taking them, then a lot of the psychosis can still linger and they can still think that they're being gang stalked. As a matter of fact, when I brought up this at the top of this conversation, the person I was dealing with the other day and talking to him has been in his head. He thinks that when he's at work, he's hearing voices and that the gang stalkers are trying to get him. He comes here to our house. When he's here at the house, he thinks there's certain people that are in on it, that are keeping secrets about him particularly. And often, like, I have to try to talk him off the ledge and just let him know, hey, just know this. Like, a lot of this stuff, if not all of it, is all in your mind. Last time that you went on that run and you do meth, it just seems like it's just affecting you worse and worse. You've got to be careful. And they ask me, well, how do I quiet the voices? How do I get out of this? And I often say, be in a sober state of mind, get into a meditative practice and do this every single day until you can try to quiet those noises in your head. If you've fallen victim to what you think is gang stalking, or even if you're absolutely certain that you're being gang stalked, or if you have evidence that you've been gang stalked before, I'd like to hear from you. In the comment section, you can subscribe to my channel. It's PEJ Interventions, or you can like it, you can share it. Please do that. Or you can send me a private message. You can text me at 949-751-7761, and let's start a conversation. Thank you. My name is PEJ.